Hello, hello, evolutionary women, our gal pals, our amigas, all our ladies around the world. I am here with a truly, truly, truly evolutionary woman, Lucille Mandat from Canada, who is the founder of Hand in Hand with African Women and really a powerful source of wisdom within our constellation of evolving women. And
Mm,
Lucille and I have been looking at, we had a really deep community conversation yesterday about what does it actually mean to design our best lives. So design, so create intentionally, because the lives we have today are the lives we wound up with. Now, we might have started creating something and intend for it to manifest and happen, but mostly stuff we're running, we're dealing with our wiring, our conditioning. Well, most of the time we just naturally be running on autopilot. So inside our conversation, Lucille, what are you curious, excited, interested in? Like when you look at your own life, what are some areas that you're like, oh, I could do with some designing over here, designing over there? What makes you curious and excited about this conversation?
mm. Yes, that's quite a beautiful word. Designing. I love the word autopilot. I think when I realize when I do the inventory of my life, I understand a lot of it was autopilot. But when I started becoming conscious, then it's so much more affirming when I take steps,
Mm.
when I um, make decisions, and I trust, and I go ahead, and I explore and I expand. So I'm all about widening my circle. I'm retired. I had a lovely career where I had, contact with a lot of human beings. So when you leave professorship, you leave that network. I mean, they
And
stay.
structure.
Yes, the structure. So I don't have, access to that structure anymore. So I have to create that. And this is what I'm doing. I have been doing for the past 2.5 years, just becoming aware and conscious.
Yeah,
How exactly do I grow my circle?
yeah,
And now that I have a foundation, it is even more important because having a charity is like a business. You have to be present, you have to work at it, you have to be aware of all the hellos, all the greetings. When you meet people, it's always full of possibility. So I
yeah.
this arena, the arena of GiftU, is huge for me because it has
Right.
allowed me to expand my my network, and this is the field work, I love to say.
Lucille, I'm about to laugh out loud because whenever you say I'm retired, I'm like, it's like such a word. I know from a structural sense, you're retired. But every time you say it, I'm like, wait, what? Huh? Because you, to me, like when I see what you're creating in the world and when I see what you're generating at the same time as living your best life, like you're also like, oh, hey, husband, it's 1 o'clock time, 4 p.m., open the red bottle of red, great. You know, I really, I think you're really leading in this area. Like you're living your best life at the
Mm.
same time as making a difference and impact. So every time you say you're retired, I'm just about to not because it's not true, but just because it's not what you think of. Like it's not what people imagine. And that's the exciting thing. That's what this conversation is about, that we can create what that looks like. Because in a way, retired is almost like when your identity, whatever identity you had in a career,
Mm.
when that identity, it's like that identity is removed in the in the absence of anything, the word retired kind of like
Mhm,
appears,
mhm,
but then you get to create that, and you're such a shining example. And
mm,
inside the structures that you've been creating these past couple of years, because you have structures with team, you have structures with the organization you've created, you've got structures with the different projects in Africa you're doing. So in your inside of the beautiful new structure that you've created, which comprises multiple different aspects of structure, what are you seeing from the women in these beautiful structures about
mm,
their lives and what's important to them and what they're looking at for themselves over the next year or two?
mm. Yes, I think this is where I am very, yeah, I have to say proud and surprised and not surprised because I am working with women in Africa who, as I often say, have an amazing resilience, but also a willingness to make changes in their lives. You know, when I approached them and I said, you can be with us, but you have to create a project where you're going to become sustainable eventually. Down the line, you will have what you need to be more and more sustainable. And this is where I saw the 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 transformation little by little. And you know, a year and a half ago we were just starting, and today I see them. They're on the phone, and what can I do about this, and what do you mean you want an Excel sheet for my budget? How will that work? So we're co-creating collectively, and with a team, but also with the three ladies out there who are managing their own projects. So they are helping each other out there, and they are becoming. They didn't know each other. They live
And they're
thousands of
not
miles
even in the
apart.
same parts of the
No,
country. Like two of them are
no.
in the same country, but not on
Africa is a
either
big
end.
continent. It's huge, but they are co-creating, the
Yeah.
three of them, as they are with our team. So this is where I see the level of consciousness raising. We are becoming aware, all of us, how we do business. I didn't know anything about drilling for water. What does that mean? They're talking about PVC pipes and metal pipes and depth and hydrologists. And so that's the excitement. Um, you know, raising chickens, how much feed does a little chick need, you know, and what does it cost? And so that's the excitement. And
Yeah.
and I think where I'm seeing the real power is in our level of consciousness, all of us,
Mm,
all of
yeah.
us. So
Yeah.
we
And this
are
is the healing work
designing our
you were
lives as we
talking.
speak. All of us
Hmm.
are
Yeah.
designing our lives, and we're excited about each other's lives and
Yeah.
connected. You know, somebody dies, a little baby dies in Mama Charity's orphanage, and there's, you know, a flow of sympathy sent, and we hold hands, and we hold her like we would a sister or a friend. She's miles away. So it's that connection that I'm excited about in this Design
Mm,
Your Best Life
yeah.
programs. Yeah.
Yeah. So ladies, if you're like at a pivot, so it could be that you are at a crossroads stage in life, like whether that's career wise, age wise, family status wise, like it could be you're really like opening up a new chapter, and this program will definitely help with that. It could also be like you look at your life and you're like, yeah, you know what? My life is pretty freaking awesome. This is the life. This is the life I wanted to create for myself. And you always need to keep up leveling. Like you can't just be like, oh, hey, this is the life. Oh, hey, yeah, I saw this a couple years ago and now I have it. You just got to always keep, not from a bigger, better, more kind of perspective, but from an evolutionary perspective,
Mm.
there's always tweaks, refinements, enhancements. I mean, a couple of years ago, I was just like, geez, if I could just have a job, if I could just work, do what I really love and make money from it, like that would be an epic breakthrough. That would be like the only thing I ever wanted. And a couple years later, I'm like, hey, it's here, it's arrived. And now I'm like, actually, I'd quite like a whole global conglomerate of women's organizations that are making a difference in the world. And I'm sure that when that is in existence, I'll look around and go, oh, okay, well, I've already got a conglomerate of all these great great companies, great women-led, women-driven companies. So yeah, I'm gonna run for president or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna look like. But you just gotta keep like, oh, hey, that dream, it's here now. Like, okay, what's the next? You just gotta keep this is evolutionary. This is the stuff of life.
Mm.
And
Mm.
if anyone's listening to this going like, oh, that's a big, ooh, that's big and bold, Catherine. It's evolutionary because if you just go, hey, I got there, you actually go backwards. So it's like forwards doesn't always look like linear, but it's like if you're not moving forward, you're slipping back. So, ladies, let's go forward together. Um, we have
Mm.
we have 11 scholarship prizes, so one full scholarship and 10 partial scholarships. So, if you want to be with Lucille and I inside this conversation for 8 weeks this autumn, to really go out this year of the water tiger, really go out with a bang. This is an important and significant year. Then come apply on the link. Like, what have you got to lose? You've literally got nothing to lose. And just by making the application, you're sending an imprint out to the universe. Like, hey, universe, I want this. And you got to send signals. If you don't send any signals, it doesn't, basically, you just get back stuff you don't want. Stuff you don't want comes back to you. So, Lucille, thank you so much for being a role model in
Mm.
our community and in your spheres of influence in the world. I just always feel so alive and inspired when I'm in conversation with you.
Mm.
And ladies, we'll see you on the program. Throw your hat over the fence and click the link above. Answer the questions, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, Lucille. Take care, everyone.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Bye bye.